What simple mistake has ended lives? There have been too many instances of rock climbers rappelling off of the ends of their ropes, which could have been easily avoided by tying stopper knots at the ends of their ropes. I worked at a tire place for a summer, and the first thing they told me was, "See that torque wrench? One mistake with this, and you can kill a whole family in a matter of seconds." I thought, well, better take this thing seriously. Therac 25. The world's deadliest software error. Cost several radiation patients their lives by administering lethal amounts of radiation, and for a while, the doctors didn't even know. As a healthcare worker, giving the wrong amount of insulin. Leaving the stranded vehicle on the road in winter and trying to walk to get help. It happens in rural parts of our province once or twice a year, and they find the body a few days later. They get disoriented and freeze. Pulling the knife out of someone. Mixing cleaning ingredients. A friend's husband locked himself out of their home. He tried to get in through a window that had security bars. While squeezing through, his foot slipped and he essentially hung himself on the windowsill. Almost any simple mistake can end a life if you're an anesthesiologist. That's how my grandpa died in his early 60s. Getting fired up from road rage. Not being honest with doctors about Viagra. It has many dangerous drug interactions and can cause a lot of problems from what I've heard. Trust me, the doctor ain't gonna judge you guys, they have seen much more embarrassing things. And it would suck to die because you wanted to hide something just for it to be later stated in your death certificate. Respected cardiothoracic surgeon tells a guy to stop smoking right outside the hospital doors. Guy turns around and punches him a single time in the head. King hit, or coward punched, whatever you want to call it. He falls to the floor and hits his head a second time. On life support for 4 weeks, nothing left to save. Ignoring signs when cave diving. Bitch, they put a Grim Reaper on it, turn around. Edit, actually, cave diving to begin with. Fucking crazy people. NASA executives overriding engineers on the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger. Long ago, I was on the crew of a submarine older than me. We went into the shipyard. One of the planned jobs was to install some new equipment that required a hull penetration. One Friday afternoon, a shipyard worker drilled a 1/8-inch pilot hole through the hull, intending to come back on Monday to finish the job. The job got cancelled, he got reassigned, and the hole remained. It was covered with duct tape to keep dirt out. The painters went ahead and sprayed over the tape. How deep can a piece of duct tape plus paint hold on a dive? About 218 feet. Before you ask, yes, we survived. That all heart attacks have the exact same symptoms. They don't. Trust yourself and seek help ASAP if you are afraid that you're having a heart attack. The herald of free enterprise not closing the bow door. 193 drowned. People outdoors getting amazed when their hair stands up during a thunderstorm. P.S. It means you're about to die. In 1854, a woman named Sarah Lewis threw a diaper from her dying baby into a London cesspool, resulting in cholera, killing 616 people after it contaminated a popular well. A neighborhood kid I grew up with got his Honda all tricked out. He had an aftermarket remote start on it, back when those were rather new. Apparently, the remote start activated while everyone was asleep. I guess the theory was he left the keys in his pants when he fell asleep. Car was in the garage. Entire household, parents, brother, sister, and Isaac all died. I read an article a long time ago about an aircraft maintenance worker not removing a piece of tape that was put in place to protect a sensor during cleaning. The pilot failed to notice during the pre-flight inspection. More than 100 people died in the plane crash. Some homeopathic medicine for babies still contained deadly amounts of belladonna. some babies died. Apparently, they did not dilute it as extremely as they were supposed to in homeopathy. The Goiânia accident. Kyle video on the incident. A court in Brazil had been made aware that there was an unsecured source of radiation in a condemned cancer treatment clinic due to be torn down, but did not let anyone safely remove it. A scrap collector went into the building, found the radiation source, broke it open, and found glowing blue powder inside. No one knew it was extremely radioactive cesium powder, and the glowing blue light emitted by the powder was beautiful. It was spread around much of the local city before reports of widespread radiation sickness prompted government emergency action. Multiple people died of radiation poisoning, including one 6-year-old girl. As an additional butthole clencher, the fire department very nearly threw the bag holding the remaining powder into the local river. The Halifax explosion. December 1917, a ship with a hell of a lot of explosives ran into another ship that was traveling on the wrong side of the shipping lanes. An explosion the equivalent of 3 kts of TNT killed nearly 2,000 people, caused a tsunami, and injured 9,000 people. Keeping in mind the recent Beirut explosion was close to 1 kt of TNT. Not wearing a seatbelt. Always treat a gun like it's loaded. Grenfell Tower. Kensington and Chelsea Borough Council saved £5,000, $6,000, by not installing the slightly more expensive fireproof cladding, and instead used Reynobond PE which, as described by one report, acted like solid petrol in the fire. This caused 72 deaths and hundreds to suffer from homelessness, mental health problems, and trauma. My neighbor let his 15-year-old drive on the interstate coming back from a Florida vacation because he was tired. He crossed the line, flipped the vehicle, and the entire family ultimately didn't make it. Not looking both ways when crossing a